Hi, I'm your host, Marsha Florence, for Just Ask Podcast Live. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in. We look forward to seeing you guys every other Thursday doing the podcast live. Because why? Every couple of weeks, we find out enough information to get back to you so that you'll know what has happened in the community or what services are available. Now, a lot of times, ladies and gentlemen, what you don't see is that a lot of things that are happening are about to end, and we need to do a recap every now and then to keep you abreast of what is about to end, what services or what programs, and what's going on new, so that you won't miss the opportunity to gain some resources to use for, hey, this weather is changing, situations with COVID is changing, um, the end of unemployment benefits, job search. A lot of stuff is getting ready to unfold, and you want to try to be on top of it as best as you can. Now, take for example, for those of you who are recently or currently collecting unemployment, and you know that it's going to end somewhere within the next 2 months. My suggestion is, if you have a job in mind, put in for that job. Put in for a job that you've never thought that you could get because, oh, it was always so filled, or, oh, they wouldn't give me an interview. Well, a lot of people are not returning to the same positions they had before. This will give you an opportunity to apply for something and find out what it is that you need to have, whether it's a chauffeur's license, or if it's a certification, or continue education. So at this time, use this time wisely, if you can, to look for the type of job you really want to do. So some of you may have wanted to work at the airport, couldn't work at the airport because it was always overcrowded, no job availability. Well, there's jobs now. Okay, so let's try to make sure that when you come to the end of your line with your unemployment, that you do have employment on the table. Okay, and if you apply now, it doesn't mean you're going to get the job tomorrow, but you have a chance to at least have your application in on the early pool. And that way you can at least know that, hey, if I'm not employed within the next 2 or 3 weeks, I still got my unemployment coming, and I can check back and see if my application has been considered or reviewed. Okay, and that's important. So, as a job placement specialist in the past, that was my job. You had to make sure people had jobs all year long. College kids are coming home from school, or even those who didn't go away from school at their home. There was always a certain amount of employment set aside so that the young folks can have a job, to have some income in the early spring and summer months. So don't forget, young people, if that's your opportunity to go look for your current position, even though you're home from school or had to do school virtually, the jobs are still on the table, definitely. If you have a high school student and you say, well, my kids are not in school because of COVID, but they do want to come out and work, you also can still look for employment. And even though you're a certain age, 16 and above, find out if you have to have your permit, work permit, and what will it take to you for you to get that work permit from your counselor. So some of these things have never changed, and they won't change. But if you have a question for us, you can always call us at 1-800-323-5336 at Just Ask Talk Show. We'd be glad to try to help you navigate some of these things that you're looking for, and see if we can make it a little more simpler for you. And that's the purpose of Just Ask. Our job is to simplify things, especially in the health profession. We do our best to simplify matters in the health profession. So what I wanted to do today was do a recap of some of the wonderful guests that we had the opportunity to see in the last couple of months. And if you don't catch us on Facebook, you can always go to the website. Okay, and if you go to the website, justasktalkshow.org, Or, you know what? We have our station lineup and everything. You can always catch us on Channel 56 and the additional cable stations. And so, with that being said, let me see what do I have on my agenda first. Okay. Now, in the last 3 or 4 months, what we were trying to do was give you enough information that the people that you saw, it might have been something short and quick, but you said, wow, I didn't get a chance to get that phone number, or I didn't get a chance to get that information. Well, that's why, because you can go to the website, and those same shows are still on the website, and you can refer back to them, or YouTube. But I'm going to start with one gentleman, Mr. Mishael Raiford. Mishael Raiford, we had the opportunity to talk to him, and he is the CEO of Diversity Insurance. Diversity Insurance. Okay, so what that is the insurance company. And when I say insurance, don't look at it like, oh, I don't need no insurance. At this point, if you don't have any medical coverage insurance, you need to go to or find out if you can find a representative to help you walk through the marketplace insurance. You know, the one they call Obamacare, and they had to change the name. Okay, or you want to find out if you're eligible for any other type of insurance. A person like Mr. Rayford will actually talk to you one on one about your coverage and what you can look for, what they can generate for you. It's not necessarily car insurance, but it's health insurance. And we're at a standstill when we don't know how to cover our families. Also, you can check and see about open enrollment for Medicare and Medicaid. You don't know what time of the year it is, but when you call a DHS office, you can ask them, is it open enrollment period? And if not, when is open enrollment? And at that point, mark your calendar. But if you want to speak to a representative like Mr. Rayford, and I should have had his number program, but his number is, and you can always give us a call, area code 734-931-0198. That's 734-931-0198. And from my notes, just turned 65 or turning 65 soon. Do you have Medicare and Medicaid, or are you wondering if you can still get Medicare Advantage plans? So you want to talk to someone like Mr. Rayford, and if not him, then you can always call your DHS office and just ask the general questions about when is coverage available. So what's important about that in particular, ladies and gentlemen, is that we have went through a year-long crisis, and some people don't have insurance. You could be self-employed and don't have insurance. You could be a person with disability, you have some insurance, or you could be a college kid and past the age of 26 and you're no longer on your parents' coverage and you're on your own. So there's a lot of things that will make you you're self-employed or independent and you don't have coverage. But you don't want to be out here without that blanket. So you need to do a little homework to find out how much it would cost you, if any. And some of these programs are free. Okay, and that's the main ones we want, is the free ones. Now, I think it's really, really important to have medical coverage for everyone. I mean, when I say everyone, it doesn't matter how old you are and how young you are. First of all, who wants to not be able to go to the dentist? Who doesn't want to have the ability to get a pair of glasses? Okay, what about a physical? Okay, if you're diabetic, and you need insulin care or something. So you never know what it is that you need, but to have a service that's provided for you is a plus. And that's why we say definitely either give us a call and find out if we can help in getting you navigated to the right type of service, okay? Or if you just have a general question for us, and we can do our best to answer that for you. Now, I do, outside of Mr. Rayford, we had the pleasure of speaking with the CEO and founder herself, Lisa Franklyn of Warriors on Wheel. And with her program, what we found out about Lisa's program is that there is a food program that's available. So if you had to look for a food program that will allow you to have, what was it? Some things in, food pantry, um, things like that. Oops, sorry. That's me. Okay. Well, we'll go back to me. Okay. But with the food pantry program, where you get a chance to go and or call them and say, hey, I'm in need of some groceries. What can I get? You definitely want to check out the grocery delivery service through Warriors on Wheels program, especially during the COVID-19 period. Now, with this program in particular, what I'm looking at is that not only will they deliver your food, you can actually give them the list. You give them the list. They actually can take your food stamp card, or they have the ability to make the purchases for you. And then after they make the purchases and deliver the food to you, you can pay for your food directly upon delivery. So definitely you want to call them, especially if you are of a elderly nature and are in need of fresh produce and vegetables. You never know what you need until you call that number. So that number down there, for those of you who can't see it, is 313 251 5777. 313 251 I'm sorry, 313-251-5777. And I encourage you to call that number because one thing about it, I can only tell you briefly what they do. But what I want you to do is just be able to find out on your own what they do, and that way you'll feel better knowing that I just gave you a tidbit of information. But wholeheartedly, when you call that number, they will definitely tell you what services they have available, and make it much easier for you. But I enjoy sharing the wealth and knowledge of all these wonderful agencies that come and see us, because we realize that there are people who don't know, okay? Don't know, can't get, resources. You don't have to have cable. You don't have to have internet service and stuff all the time. You want to be able to watch TV, and that's where we come in at. So if you're watching channel 56, you get to see us 2 days a week on Wednesday mornings at 5:30 a.m. for those who don't sleep all night or can't sleep. And then for those who are well rested in the afternoon, you can see us on Fridays at 2:30 p.m. on DPTV channel 56. So definitely when you're at home and say, what's on TV? At 5:30 in the morning, you roaming around. Why not click on to us on Wednesday mornings, okay? So we appreciate having you. And then at 2:30 in the afternoon on Fridays, those of you who are leisurely at home, tune in as well and get some resources or information about what we do and the people that we've seen or that who we have coming up next. So that's important. Now, I like to say we recently had a wonderful supporting guest we do a program called COVID-19 panel discussion, and that is a previous guest on the show introduced us to another guest on the show, and that means that we learned from two different agencies what services they provide, what are they offering out there for people to do, especially under the COVID. So with COVID still being in place, you may have your shot, but they're still asking that you wear the mask as well. And I think that's important. Don't be so quick to say, well, I had my shot, I could take my mask off. The person next to you didn't have a shot yet, okay? Or someone in your household has not had their shot yet. So we're asking for people to still be mindful to continue to wear their mask as well as be cautious. Just because you've had the shot doesn't mean everyone in your surroundings have had their shot. So you don't want to still be exposed or expose someone else. But I wanted to share with you some resources in reference to the home eviction, the moratorium on the bus rides, as well as the home moratorium evictions. So look at the screen here, and you see a multitude of numbers, but these numbers are very, very important for you to have. Starting with DetroitEvictionHelp.com hotline. Now, a lot of you may say, well, I'll deal with it when it comes. Let's not wait, ladies and gentlemen. Let's deal with what we see in front of us right now. So even though you haven't been evicted or you're not thinking about it, I would like for you to have that number for Wayne County so that you don't get caught up in, I got evicted, and what am I supposed to do now? They didn't tell me they was going to ask me for this money. We don't know what's going to happen when the moratorium is lifted. But we want you to be prepared as best as possible. So at the top, you see DetroitEvictionHelp.com is the website. Their hotline is 866-313-2520. That's 866-313-2520. And that's for those who may be facing eviction. Now, if you had a situation before COVID took effect, I still highly suggest that you call and find out if there's any assistance you can receive based on the fact that you were in the process of being evicted beforehand. So you're just asking a general question. Remember, they don't know who you are, so why not ask? So now on line 2, the Michigan COVID Emergency Rental Assistant. That's another number, Michigan COVID Emergency Rental Assistance, CERA. So you see, they have their information is tied in with the evictions program. So you want to definitely look them up and find out what you can get, what services or benefits you can receive from them. The Michigan Help, Michigan Legal Help, hotline. So the MichiganLegalHelp.org is the website, and the hotline is 1-888-783-8190. That's 1-888-783-8190. So that's for legal assistance. And when you call, you may have some other situations other than housing. Ask them. Find out what all services they provide under the legal system that you can, receive resources from. Sometimes it could be landlord and tenant issues. Sometimes it could be that there's, roof caving in or something. So you never know what the situation is, but you at least want to find out if you need legal counseling. Can you call or email MichiganLegalHelp.org and see what they can offer, what services they can offer. Then you have the Wayne County Treasurer. Now, with the Treasurer's Office, what we're facing is that we may have a tax program or a tax issue that has to be addressed. Okay, so theirs is waynecounty.com/elected/treasurer. So definitely you want to call the Treasury Department. It might be the assessors or anything that's dealing with your house. You own the house, but now you don't know if your taxes are still, the same amount. Did they get higher, or can you have a not necessarily a waiver, but maybe a reduction in pay or a payment plan? And that's another important one to find out. So City of Detroit Tax Assessor, Wayne County Treasurer, those two in particular are based on if you are a homeowner or a property owner, period, that you want to know what do you have, what's your rights, okay? You don't want to let this program in and then all of a sudden you say, I should have called them. You own the house. Yes, you should. You should call them. So City of Detroit Tax Assessor, DetroitMich.gov /departments/office -chief financial officer /OCFO .division. That's a lot. /office .assessor /property .tax assistance. That's a lot. Okay, I think we better call them. But anyhow, you want to get to the assessors and you do want to get to the treasurers to make sure that what you're asking for in protection of your property taxes is not too late. I mean, I'll call. I find it necessary to call just to answer general questions. Now look at the CDC eviction moratorium. That one in particular has something to do with the fact that these eviction notices and everything were put on hold. So do you know, or are you aware that evictions have been put on hold for a whole year? No, those who have had that situation is faced with that situation, but on the average, the general public doesn't know. Okay, so with that, you want to contact the CDC, use their website, and give them a call to find out about the eviction notices and how to, before it's too late. Okay, so most of this stuff is supposed to end shortly within the next 30 days or less. Even if it ends, you still want to be able to call and find out what resources are available after this situation has ended. So don't sit there and say, I didn't know. You see the dates for upcoming dates for uh, the fares for the buses to continue to go back to normal. Okay, all that's on there. So I held that screen up there just that long because I knew somebody wanted to get either the phone number or the website. But if you didn't get all that information, you can always just what? Call me 1-800-323-5336. All right, so what I'm saying in a nutshell is that I took some me time out to get to make sure that I have enough resources for you to take a look at and to share amongst others. And here at Just As, we ask you to share our information as well. So those who have not tuned in to Just As, uh, share the wealth, share the knowledge. Give someone the dates and times when we come on, or if you're on Facebook and the show appears, share that page with someone so they can understand what they may be missing out on. And that way you've helped someone else as well. So sometimes you can't repeat everything as, oh, that was a lot to remember. I don't know if I can tell you that. But you can actually share the page, or you can refer them to the justastalkshow.org website, or they can give us a call at 1-800-323-5336 and get some more information directly themselves. And we get a lot of phone calls, especially during this time with the COVID situation in place, and we've tried to help as many as people as we can. So we do thank everyone for giving us a call as well, and we're very, our doors is open 24 hours, so we're a 24-hour production line. You can give us a call anytime. It's on your mind. Just go ahead and call, and if we didn't get the call, leave us a message. We'll call you back. All right? All right, so ideally today, ladies and gentlemen, was a recap day. And recaps to me are important. They don't have to be every week, but we do have to let you know that the wonderful people that we've seen, they have some resources that you can use. Okay, so like I said, you got the moratorium for the eviction, you got the bus fare getting ready to turn around and go back to normal. Okay, so if you don't have your bus passes, you can get ready to get scheduled to get your bus passes. They'll be available to you as well. And what else? What else? What else? If you're still into food deliveries, you can have the food delivery programs done. Uh, Now, if you don't utilize Warriors on Wheels program, okay, because you could be a person with a disability or elderly nature, or just call and say, hey, do you also handle or help or support families in need, period. Don't forget you got mounds and mounds of food pantries, and I do mean mounds and mounds of food pantries because you can actually go to the Gleaner's website and find out the listing of when the food pantries are available around and about throughout the cities. So you can actually do that if you're in need of groceries. And we went through a lot this year, last year especially, and in the beginning of this year, 2021. But Michiganians are survivors, and to see people come close together and working and providing resources for one another is just an honor. It's just an honor, and we here at Just Ask like to be a part of that. So we thank you for allowing us to come into your home and provide the information that we're privy of so that you can share that with someone else and help someone else along the way, whether it's a friend, neighbor, the elderly man or woman down the street, the person across the street you always wondered about, who's a frail nature and don't have much family or don't have any family. This is the resources that you can share with them. Okay. Okay, so we're looking forward to you doing that. All right. So as usual, for me, when we have a show, for those who are interested in joining us, we definitely encourage you to give us a call and say, hey, I'm interested in coming on the show, and what can I get? Well, not what can I get. What information is there for me to be a guest on the show. Give us a call at our 1-800-323-5336 number. Tell us what your story is, and we would definitely give you a date and time to come and join me. Summertime, we plan to hopefully be back into the studio. If we're not, we're doing very well doing the shows by virtual, and it's working out. We're still giving out the same information. We're still supporting people the same way, and we hope that you are enjoying receiving your information just the same. Now, I'm in the studio today, as you can see, okay, and I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be in the studio. We appreciate having our space to come in and share our information like we normally do anyway. So whether you see us in the studio or you see me at home, we still going to provide the same information, same resources that you need. All right. So don't forget, you can always go to Facebook and watch a show. All of our shows are recorded, and you can click on to any of them and get the same information. And if you don't know something, you still can give us a call and find out. So, ladies and gentlemen, I spent my time today with you on a recap note because it was three organizations or resources that I felt were very important to you, and I definitely want you to consider the grocery delivery service, if need be, for a friend or a family member that's in need. And they have other services as well. So if you need to speak to Miss Franklyn, Lisa Franklyn, about what other services that they provide, definitely give them a call at that number and leave a message so she can give you a call back. They have programs for voters' rights, senior service transportation, as well as accommodations for persons with disabilities at all levels. So we definitely want to encourage you to give Lisa Franklyn a call in reference to what it is that they do there at their office, okay? And definitely, if you're done with, speaking to Lisa, you definitely want to go over to this website over here, the CAD, the CDC information, and ask them as well, what resources can you get? All right? So without further ado on all that good stuff, don't forget, tune in to us. we're here as well. Tune in, give me a call, and say, hey, Marsha, I've been watching you for a while. I got a question. And normally, 9 times out of 10, I answer the questions, okay? So don't feel as though when someone else answers the phone, your questions will go unanswered. Your questions get answered. I'm more than happy to answer your questions and see what services we can provide. All right? So with that, let me come out of that. Now, thank you for tuning in today. Like I said, it was my day. No guests, no hassle, just me and you. And that's what I wanted to do, was make sure that we had a day together to get to know what was out there. And we will be coming back with you the next couple of weeks with another show. And of course, I won't tell you who that is because I like surprises myself. So we do have some more good resources. But give us a call anytime, ladies and gentlemen, when you have a question or if you have a show idea. I love to hear from you. Now, I'm your host, Marsha Florence, for Just Ask. And what do I always say? If you know a person with a disability or if you just have a general question, don't be afraid to ask. Just ask. I'm your host. See you next time.